Greetings, welcome friends, we have prepared a nice video for you today. I hope you will like it. Enjoy.
Towards those southwest buildings, it kind of is just pulling towards only one of them, and essentially everything else is open field. So this is a punishing end circle once again.
And you can see Brood and Rebel. Brood actually gets the knock, but Rebel actually ends up finding the kill, the thirst onto Hao, who had a gold knockdown shield. He was the only member alive, but didn't go down immediately, and that's how we know that. Solidified Black as well, looking to loot and just get geared up. This is going to pull, I believe, into that house that you can see in that minimap. And that is going to be where a lot of teams will try to hold. But there is some high ground on that secondary house to the right of this. I believe it will actually be a great spot to rotate from if you can find a way to do it safely, because a lot of teams still playing edge here.
Oh, shots coming in here on Straight Rip, and they did manage to heal up, and now it's going to be a Q from Brood, but spends most of it behind the pillar, and he will get down. So now T-Squared here, still with this Evo shield, and he is now in at least a 1v2. Needs to be careful using the teammate's shield as cover, but now two players coming in. You already knew that that was going to spell disaster for him. He will be finished. That will be Straight Rip, and out they will exit in 8th.
And that's EXE, XE United, and so Crust, Teenage, and Lyric, they're doing their job well. Mopork on the Rebel side of things alongside Six and Nighthawk, one of the few teams that tried crypto in that lead up to Texas. Now sticking with this tried and true combination of that Gibraltar Wraith and Watson, and doing very well for themselves in a pretty good position, geared up with level 3s and a level 2 as they start to try and push this. And I believe that was Gibraltar Ultimate outside.
Yeah, Rebel was able to get back into their building and then also heal up a few teammates. Slow healing. This is going to be a full Phoenix here for Nighthawk. Door does get blown, so needs to be careful. They do still have a few fences up on these doorways, so they are okay for the time being. But just like that, only 5 squads left. That's what you get. Rain, you called it. Things are pulling in on just that building, and about 30% of this is on the cliff, so there's even less room to play with.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this particular one. You could play this high ground, but you are a little exposed, and it's all about these rotations into how do you get into the house and how do you burst people down. It's why we talk about the PKs, the Mastiffs, kind of turning this game here, and I'm not sure if that devotion is still in play. I believe it was Rebel who ended up picking it up, but I haven't seen them using it throughout the game, so maybe just figured I'd stick with the tried and true. But inside, it's Annie Moweed and Midnight Sun holding up this high ground.
Absolutely going to hold this down for the time being. You saw that choked PK from Midnight Sun ready to go at any time. You're going to wonder if it keeps that wing for this late game and these types of close quarters, but Metro Turns and Pride also trying to hold down this area as well. Not much room, but they have okay angles up top, and it's going to. The gen does go down though, so that's going to spell disaster for them.
Yeah, she doesn't have another one. They're going to dome though, and then find an ultimate accelerant, which is huge here. Only counterplay for them immediately would have been to drop down, because Watson doesn't take percentage. She gets a full ult every time she uses that ult accelerant, so she is safe. And if they have another one, they'll be able to repeat this process in about 35 seconds.
Yep, that's Solidified there down low, trying to do whatever they can from the low ground, and CAC on your screen here with Annie, Lion's Crest, as well as Midnight Sun still on the high ground. But we have seen teams lose this from the high ground here as things are going to get real thin. One team coming in, that's going to be BCJ goes down, Android Dreamer as well. Now that could be the end there for the side of Sniper Abusers momentarily. We'll see what Snipe Down still has, or if they have a gold shield, but still, it is going to be CSC holding the high ground.
Yeah, that might have been Snipe Down already falling, and those were the remaining 2. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to them. It looked like he had dropped, and that could be an interesting story if he is alive, ratting it out and kind of playing maybe a potential spoiler to these teams who look like they've got it. Right now we're looking at Solidified, and we're looking at Midnight Sun and Squad. CAC in a perfect position, but you just cannot forget about Lyric and Squad. They've been doing well the entire game.
Absolutely. The XE United team, of course, still here, ready to play. They're on a red, a purple, and a gold, ready to win this game. They're probably looking the best in terms of armor. There it goes down as well. That's going to force Solidified here just off of the roof. They're going to have to go back to that low ground and stay alive here. Their ult is back up, so they are okay for now.
Yep, and so they're just going to go right back on, but that just means roof can be taken, and that's what they try to do. But the double tap, not quite there, didn't have it, was going for the single Eva. And so Solidified now having to face off some high ground, but do they have the bombardment? They do. Even though SF Pride has fallen, they can dome again, get a heal, decides to opt against the bombardment for now, and so it's risky, but no one pushes them.
If there's a fast revive, and take a look at Midnight Sun trying to set that TP. TP does go down, though, so going to be able to stay alive here, have that option to get out when they need to relocate here. Only 36 seconds left before that close, and 4 squads still left here. Crust able to get that res on Teen as well. Going to drop all sorts of heals to try to get team back into this action as Crust covers with the PK.
XE United still in trouble, but Lyric getting his health right back. Looks like a golden backpack picked him up to almost 70% on both sides of shield and health, and so they're looking good. Solify jumping up with a little bit of a poke. We're playing inside as well. As you can see, it's CAC, and so we've got a 3-person full squad fight, but where's the 4th? And I think that could be where we're looking at a solo player, and you mentioned it might have been Snipe Down. We're going to have to find and track that squad.
We are going to indeed now back on the rooftop again. Solified tries to make something happen. Prod gets shoved back to the low ground yet again. Going to port for just a second, then also try to fence up here as things are going to end in just a moment here. Let's see. Midnight Sun goes down. Pride going down as well. Metro goes down from the ring, and Lyric will fall as well, but still 4 squads officially up. That is going to be it. Now all the fight will be in this last ring. Turns is still up for Solify. 2 squads left here for just XE United as well, and I think it's going to be the XE United boys that are able to take it.
I mean, this was a crazy ending.
28 seconds, so the ring will be closing in, and it looks like Clarify's going to get tagged up significantly here. We'll see if Sonafide decides to make a push. They likely will not, as they are in a 2v3 disadvantage. As I say that, though, it looks like this team's on the rebound here, trying to survive.
Yeah, I believe that's TSM poking them from the south, and of course they had Solifide to their northwest right now, but it might just be, I believe, Liquid White that's turning on the pressure, and they're playing third party right now, and there we go. Unfortunately, okay, Albert Laley's still in this. There's a little bit of a UI bug there. I thought he was gone, but Reps, he's got that the Kraber in hand right now, trying his best to get any knocks, and this position is such a strong one for TSM.
TSM poking the runner-ups behind them in their semifinal. That's the Flying Saucerers, with Petty Boss, Clarify, and Saucerer himself. Good shots put in from TSM. They're going to hit this rotation early on, and they're pretty well set up with their perimeters as well. Same exact spot they were in. TSM likes to pick a position and stay. Meanwhile, they're going to tag one up. Broken Shields going to be called out here. Hal's just putting in shots for his team, playing great support here. And it looks like Reps is going to get tagged up, but TSM in a solid spot.
Yeah, Liquid White getting knocked out there by Liquid Blue of all teams. Now Imperial Hal picking up even more KP for his team right now. He's already got 3 kills to his name. But this is going to be the difficult part here. We already know that Dream Team have largely cleared out the southern side, and so their backs are safe, and so they only need to look in one direction, which is to their north right now. The other 3 teams are basically there in that position. So Dream Team are going to look to play Gatekeeper and just third party all these teams as they're scrambling to try and rotate it.
He's going to get taken out. 4 squads remain in this one. Liquid Nocturnal of Liquid Blue, currently with red shields, 125 shield to his name. Well positioned in this late game, and in a pretty decent spot as well, but they're going to have to hit this rotation. So it basically is a standoff between TSM and Liquid Blue. Finally, the Wraith Ultimate's going to come through, and here comes the transition. Big fight is ultimately going to ensue here with these 4 squads left. Expect some poke, and it really is the tale of 2 tales. 2 teams that are ultimately on each side of the cannon there are trying to put some shots into each other and really just holding down their ground.
So TSM actually have a free rotate in right now. There was actually 2 teams to the south, and Dream Team was facing off against one. And I think that was Liquid Blue possibly here. But now we see, E United. And so E United are going to try and control this inner side on the valley here. There's a lot of high ground, a lot of cover actually, surprisingly so. And they realize that. So they're going to be able to take this cliff side here. And they have full map control here on the south now. They can walk in with this zone while getting off decent damage. Lyric takes a lot himself, but he's going to get some good cracks. Now TSM are racking in so many kill points right now. Hal getting the better of Nocturnal will finish him off, and it looks like TSM just need to clean up this lobby. There's just 3 of them standing alive, and they're cleaning up every last member here.
And I'm jumping in, Jamerson, because this is too good to not get into as well. Oh my god, TSM as well as what we've seen with E United, or XE United here, but TSM now with a full squad, and they are doing so much better here in this finish. It's really just a matter of executing here. But United, they're not going to let this one go easily as well. Even though Lyric is down, Teen finds himself with a beautiful gold shield and a pretty nice high ground vantage point.
The thing is, TSM does not lose these. When they have this much power in the late game, when it's a 3v2 in squad versus squad, It's nothing short of a miracle that that EU United have to pull out here to try and get this win. Take a look at this cheeky position coming out from Abulalili too. And so they have the gatekeeping position set up. They have a beautiful crossfire right now that EU United, they can't do anything but walk into.
And that's the problem as well. Considering that you're going to try and go for the Wraith portal, you're going to get poked halfway. EU Teenage already done, and it seems like it's just Crust who's going to try to hold them off. They're fighting the inevitable. It's been a great showcase, though. 4 kills for them already. A top 2 finish yet again after coming in first place last game. But TSM is here. They are not going anywhere, and if you think they're letting Crust 1v3 them, you are absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah, Crust just trying his best, but now the ring's going to close in 5 seconds. He still needs to try and get that Phoenix kit off. Oh, that Thermite just barely missing him, but I think he understands the situation he's in, and there's the knock. Instantly going to go ahead and pop that self-res, but he's going to go down before he even finishes channeling. And that should be it. TSM with a huge win. Imperial House, 6 kills to his name.
And right now an R9 and Peacekeeper for Squared.
Yep.
And they're going to continue to poke just a bit, but try to play this on the long game. As a reminder, Straight Ribbon, I believe, in 10th place right now. Let me go ahead and double-check that. Yes, indeed. They're in 10th, once again, tied in a 5-way tie for 10th. This Game 3 is big for so many teams in the lobby.
Well, at this point, you can see it, man. TSM have to get potentially a little aggressive or tricky because they lost their Watson ult. So all these bombardments, they cannot defend against. They're going to have to fight into it, and Hal makes the first commitment. Albrelelli, my man, giving me the great anime Rex, not going to make the anime revival there. And so his story will end a little bit short in the Shonen, but I believe it. This is still a good performance by TSM, staying high enough in the points to stay contesting first place.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and drop out at the 5th spot, as you just saw. Eva 8 here out for turns, trying to make something happen. Is forced back inside the trailer, though, so desperately needs to heal up. Metro and Pride going to cover for him momentarily. The Solified squad able to pick up a few extra kills here, and that's going to be Brood that is the first to go down on Straight Rippin'. So now taking a look at Pride as well. Now here's once again the Dream Team up top. They still do have that height.
And this is the thing that has won the game. We saw that rotation, which sometimes we don't normally see, but their immediate rotation, their lack of taking fights for when it matters most, saving all of their effort and their energy to get this position is what could be the determining factor to put them in that second, first, maybe third place at the end of this lobby. 3 squads left. Solified finds T-Squared and Brood. And so this looks like it could be helping. And Aces and Rograt on Dream Team setting up for their first win.
Yep, Dream Team versus Solified. We'll have to see if one of them might be a solo. Yes, indeed, that's what it is. It's going to be Dream Team versus Solified here. And now Dream Team does make their push up. We'll see if they can pick up this. 2 players go down, 1 from each side there momentarily. Ace desperately looking for some kind of swap. Gets the gold out of the swap and now comes around for the Gibby, able to get that knock. And now wondering what might be around the corner here. Also going to pop this battery. Maybe gets it off. Yes, Fast Bat does go off. Is it going to win in the game? No! Will go down, and that's going to be Aces, I believe, who picks up that extra kill there on the other side, and I think it's going to be a solo.
With that Wraith, obviously leveraging the Q into the void of that Wraith is pretty much a free rotation there. Here comes the push coming through from Dream Team. Rock to rock here. That's all they can deal with as they don't have a Gibraltar for that artificial cover. Storm is collapsing, and they're going to survive for now.
Yeah, they were so fortunate to have this rock right now, try and survive. At this point, I'm imagining that aim assists are just waiting for any kind of engage to happen right now. Take a look. There's a little bit of a priority for Team Dream Team.
They got the circle.
They have the ring pulling closer toward them, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Is this the game-winning rock right here? Is this the rock that made the difference? Or will TSM be able to fly and use their resource and shield advantage to their advantage? A couple good shots still put on the Wraith. Going on board with Albrelelli with TSM. Playing his famous Pathfinder, and they still don't know where this other squad is. This other squad, Aim Assist, is just saying, I'm content with you both fighting each other. We're going to stay hidden as long as we can, especially if you only have 2 players alive. That's the right decision.
So there's going to be enough time here for Abulalili to get his zipline back, and they can set that up. I don't know how high it can go from this angle, but they will have to have an angle to at least get a zipline over to the next ring here to try and work.
And you wonder, do they
so
zipline or do they use
that.
a Wraith ult? You know, the zipline's going to leave them exposed. No matter what they do with that zipline, they're going to have to take a couple shots early, and they don't have a lot of cover to deal with either. Of course, no Gibraltar to their name as well.
Yeah, it's going to come down to what aim assists do from down here, because again, they have the same timings. It's the same basic circles timing, and there it is. Yeah, the Pathfinder zipline is set up. It should be within the path of the next ring.
Yep, smart zipline. It will be exposed. Everyone in the game must have seen that zipline come through. They will be exposed at least for a moment while they take that zipline. all up to Dream Team to get some great shots in. These shots are crucial, but obviously tough to do. And of course, the Wraith Portal is going to come through. It's going to buy them some more time. So they're going to opt probably not for shots. This would be the right time for TSM to push. But I don't know if they recognize what's happening, as they're doing a good job staying behind this rock.
Yeah, right now it looks like Abralele is taunting aim assist that's right below them, but at this point helping. If he could set this up, I would like to see him actually throw it down just a little bit early right there, go back. He took a lot of damage. He will be able to get the bat off though. We'll see. Again, not setting up a Wraith heal is kind of huge. Get crack kind of spelled the end of it as they go in.
Smart decision from TSM. Wait until they have the slight advantage. Abralele's going to go through a Thermite. It's not going to matter. He's going to put in shots. Actually, the aim assist squad has to be rotating through here. Looks like 3 squads still alive. It's all TSM in the kill feed right now as they're going to light up both members, and that's going to be it. TSM with a perfect finish. They come out on top here. You got to think that's all she wrote. TSM does.
Can very easily take this tournament.
And no Casper as well, so that's going to make this very difficult. No respawn potential and no way to even get it off, considering how tense and packed this squad, this zone of Lava City is. And so they're just going to have to try to survive, pick up as many kills as possible. I don't know if they have any to their name. No, 0 kills thus far, so not really even earning more than 2 points as far as only placement. So their max is to try to really find somebody on the rotation and place in that top 5 here in this game, but doesn't look like it's going to be too easy.
And Dream Team was in trouble in the feed just now. You might have seen it. They were getting shot by at least 2 squads. We're going to have to keep an eye on exactly what their situation is as well. But in the meantime, we do see Designful, Resulta, and Gentrifying on some very good armor.
I mean, look at that. Aim assist is in such a great spot to do well and take first place here. I mean, obviously TSM is in a beautiful location, but you can't beat 2 shields usually, and a G7 scout in prime position to poke. Kubsky finds a big kill on the Lion's Crest, and TSM Hal actually is the one who gets the knock. And it looks like XE United, or Team 13, they're the ones who just grabbed Liquid Flanker, who were hiding in that building and must have had to rotate.
And right there you see, once again, that's the second or third time we've seen that gen placement along that glass. Such a great place. And of course, even bombardments that come in, they're not going to stand a chance when you do have such great placement on that ult. They're going to continue holding it down. Now take a look at reps here, still on white. Hal, though, on red with the Evo shield, and Abralele on blue as well. They're going to continue to crack shields and hold down this low ground and be playing for placements they are here for the long game.
And that should be actually get better going down. We talked about how TSM controlled the pathway for them to get into the only open building, and they do just that. Reps, though, the only one who is really concerned. They're going to send Hal out to get the shield because he's the one with the invulnerability with the Into the Void. So they're going to risk that. They're going to trade now. Hal gets that because he's got to be the entry fragger. And so very smart play, using your ability, sending out the least vulnerable of your members to pick up that squad, bond, and get better. Pretty much just help TSM get better with their chances to win.
Yep, there goes Hal setting on that portal. They're all going to TP as they're going to be ready to fly through. Now Hal goes back, and it looks like it might have been safe if the other 2 got instruction to stay, but now taking a look at aim assist on the high ground. Once again, 8 squads left. Aim assist, by the way, in that 5th place spot on your screen.
Now you can see high ground, like you mentioned, going to aim assist. 8 squads left. But TSM and these boys are playing the outer skirts, not any of the high ground anymore, but hugging the wall so that they have an opportunity to stay outside where they believe they will be better able to contest. And in the meantime, Solify takes the building they were in, or I believe that's the building across the way, and they're cozying up there.
And we're seeing several Evo shields in play in the late game. The most Evo shields I believe we've seen here in competitive play. Great shots there out of the scout from Resulta. Going to continue to rain down some shots as Aim Assist is looking to make a statement here in this 5th and final game. Back over to them, and they're going to be ready to hold down this area, assuming that ult stays up. And now, once again, TSM still with their ult. This bombardment will not hit, so they are still looking good. 6 squads left here as XE United does go down there in the feed as well. That's going to give them even a little bit more padding in terms of TSM. Now Solified as your team in 3rd place, and it's going to be between TSM, Dream Team, and Solified here.
And that is exactly what you want to see if you are a fan of competitive Apex Legends, because our top 3 teams are essentially the top 3 teams in this lobby, and anything can go. Starting to get bigger and bigger as far as the point differentials from 3rd to 2nd to 1st here as Turns just being patient. He's got an Evo shield, 225 health to his name, the most possible in a game, but he gives up the potential to heal quickly, which means when they find the advantage, they've got to go after it and not let their team recoup here. But TSM Imperial Hal doing enough damage to keep people at bay for now.
Absolutely. And look, there's already 3 kills for Hal. There's a few points on the board, and there might even be a few more for Reps and Abraleli as well. They're going to be in a good place without a doubt. And looking in the obs, I do believe we'll have to keep an eye on it. Dream Team might have already been out, as we do see now Saucerer there. They're in 6, getting a few kills now. Hal takes a bunch of damage, though, and is forced to heal.
And Solified, who are considering potentially pushing TSM there. But on the high ground, you've got aim assist. TSM, if they win this game, it's going to be a miracle. But we all know what they can do in a game like Apex Legends. They proved it time and time again. I would not doubt them. But they are at a severe disadvantage, being pushed on both sides, high ground and to their left, by great teams in second and third.
Absolutely. Now it's going to be 3 kills, as we said, for Hal, as they're going to make their get ready for their push as well. The self-trace going to go down, going to get ready for this portal to try to keep them alive as long as possible. Shots still being exchanged on the other side between Aim Assist and Solified.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny fell off, so that's straight ripping, potentially losing their last member. Abraleli with the wingman, hitting his shots as we expect him to do. An incredible individual player. Solified have a different plan. They're going to throw the Gibraltar ultimate, and what does that mean? I don't know. They must not see the Watson ultimate out there. It's going to block all of it unless somebody else can destroy it, so they might have another plan at bay as they look to set up the rotation with only 5 seconds left here before this circle closes.
And everyone's going to fly in down now. Let's see exactly which kills come in first, as we just see a crack there coming in for Metro. Actually, Reps is the first one to fall. Liquid Wonderful will fall as well, and Metro goes down now. Absolute chaos in our final circle.
And Solified, he goes down as well. T-Squared was in there fragging. I'm not sure if he's the one that stays alive. This could be Hal. It is a Wraith. We don't have the final look. But oh my goodness, this was a final circle to remember. What a finish there.
I do believe that Heirloom Wraith is going to be a Hal. We'll have to get final confirmation. Jamerson and Follow, let us know if you caught something in the feed that we did not. But I think that's what we're going to see in the end.
I think it is.
And you got to think.
And I mean, you look at it. Go ahead. I mean, Fallout Jamerson. I don't know if you guys saw that a little bit, but my goodness, it looks like it could have been TSM pulling it out yet again.
Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, TSM, talk about a game number 5. They're far from the ring. They get an early beacon with a Pathfinder, early rotation. And by the way, it's not just by chance that they picked the perfect building to squat in. They recognize, they know the algorithms of these rings, and they were able to predict that ring into ring 3 or ring 4 past whatever that beacon said.
By the way, TSM, they do get the win, and they get 9 kills. Hal ends it with 6 kills, Abraleli with 3. That is almost certainly, as we look at second place, Team Liquid White, third place, Aim Assist, fourth place, Solified with 7 kills. That should essentially secure that for TSM. We'll wait for the final call from the referees, but I think they've done it again, guys.
Unbelievable performance from them. And you look at the legacy they're creating in Apex Legends. It's unlike any team I've seen in nearly any esport in recent memory. This amount of dominance, despite so many different situations not being set up for them to succeed. All of the hurdles, guys, all the final circles, all the drops and DCs and challenges, they still find a way to win in the end.
Legacy is the correct word there, especially when it comes to TSM and especially for Imperial Hal here. Celebrating 1 year with TSM just a few weeks ago, where TSM got into the game early on. It was Imperial Hal, T-Hump, and Prodigy Aces. Prodigy Aces we got to see today, but a year ago that they were signed early on, and TSM has not regretted it one bit. This squad has been owning the Apex scene for so long now.
And, you know, it means just as much to them now as it did back then. Reps has been a lifelong TSM fan. It means the world for him to be playing for TSM. They feel that pressure that they have to keep winning, and they keep winning. Let's go ahead and jump into a telestrator, though. Jamerson, I know you had a chance to break down the action and talk about some of our rings and our rotations early on. Jamerson, walk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, this really does harken back to X Games, where a lot of people were introduced to TSM and how strong that they were. And we got to see at the X Games how strong they were on rotations and how quickly they rotated. Back then, they were dropping Cage. And in game number 5, they had to rotate all the way down to water treatment, which was very similar, right? Cage, center map, and then water treatment all the way to the south. Here, retreated to a very similar ending, where this time around, they're dropping East Capital. And then, of course, they had to make their way all the way down southeast this time, down to Lava City. Now, the impressive part is that they were able to make this rotation from, of course, East Fragment all the way down to Lava City before the first ring even starts closing. That kind of pace for this is unheard of, but it's what TSM does. They're the ones that have basically been setting the meta on how to make these rotations. And the crazy part is, you saw once they got there also was that there was maybe already 4 or 5 teams in position. But John, like you had mentioned, they were able to basically spot out what one of the best buildings would be going into this. As we zoom in, get a better look over at Lava City, there are a lot of positions that teams can pick, that teams can take. Right, some of the power positions, especially around Lava City, would be controlling this building up here that has that beacon. This 5-6-story building right here, as we saw straight ribbon taking, is also another power position. But honestly, any of these buildings inside Lava City proper is fantastic. But they spotted out perfectly that it was going to be this building right here down to the south that the ring would pull down to. And I thought that they were in a very dire situation. We had one team playing, of course, on top of the roofs of the building to the south. TSM were stuck down here to the south behind a fence, and we saw, you know, late game things that were getting set up. We had the Pathfinder zip lines, and TSM was getting challenged on the low ground by another team. I honestly thought that might have been spelling defeat for them, but still, it's TSM. You never count them out. They have that clutch factor. They have the excellent mechanics of every team involved, and they were just able to clutch that out. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. And at this point, Jamerson, you got to think, if anyone in the world does not know TSM's secret sauce, you just literally drew it out in a telestrator. Early rotations, everyone knows what they're doing, yet still they're able to stay as consistent as they are and perform the way they are. There's no secret. Early rotations plays Pathfinder, catch a beacon, rinse and repeat. It's been their playbook since day one, and it continues to work. Why? Because they simply are the best, 3 of the best players in the game, and undoubtedly the 3 best players in the game who play so well together. They're a brotherhood. They're all great friends. They get along incredibly well. They hold each other to a high standard. They have the DNA of a great championship team alongside any great championship team I've ever had a chance to cast or watch. And this TSM squad of Bravo, I'm going to say it one last time because you're right, after this I probably won't be able to, is looking to be in a great spot to position themselves for a back-to-back 5 times championship. And then I'm done after that. I can't keep doing it. Let's take a look at the last moment there, though, and see.
This was 5.
This was 5.
This was 5.
I'd do one more time, I'd sneak it in, and that's it. Can't do any more after that point. We're going to call them 5 times, that's it.
So one of the interesting things about this final is that you see T-Squared actually ends up taking down one of Metro from Solified, and that ends up actually turning the tide to allow Hal. You see that huge arc star, and they're already down, and so a little bit of cannibalization from those final teams. But you talk about Hal using the Wraith to the advantage. He sets the portal up, he goes in there last, he lets them fight each other. It's just a beautiful play that I think has more to do with confidence and experience than technique at all. These guys just say, hey, we're going to win the game like this, and they show up and they do it.
Here's what scares me also about TSM is going into online number 1, I wrote a little bit about the difficulty that TSM had in each of their wins. Those were not freebie wins. If you look at X Games Poland, as well as GLL, none of them were freebie wins. They had to fight for them. I'm most scared of the fact that TSM is getting more convincing in their wins as time goes on. Granted, there were notable absences here, Sentinels, etc., that we'll expect to see in LAN play. But right now, TSM is looking better and better, and that's scary. When you have a team that has won 5 tournaments in a row, and they're getting better towards the end of it, they're not done yet.
Perhaps not even in their final form is TSM, as they will continue to cement their legacy as we keep using. Let's take a look at the final standings, though, from game number 5. Specifically, we all know TSM came out on top with a win and some kills, but we have a couple other teams that are vying for 2nd, 3rd, 4th place. And of course, you see it. 2 teams, one was in 5th, one was in 2nd. It's Solified and Aim Assist that placed in the top 3. Flying Saucers in 4th right after them, and Liquid White right after. X United in 7th. I don't see Dream Team anywhere here in this top 10. You wonder how that shakes up our final standings here.
I believe they got 13th or so. They were pretty towards the bottom there.
And TSM picked up 21 points, 9 kills. So really taking a clean sweep of points there. As we are going to take a look at the overall standings in the end, when it's all said and done,
tied.
Dream Team ties, but gets 4th place on tiebreaker. It looks like TSM comes out on top with 77 points, and Solified right behind them in the 2nd